Donald Trump is expected to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital today, a move which would upend decades of U.S. policy and risk potentially violent protests. Despite warnings from Arab, Muslim and Western allies, the U.S. President will instruct the State Department to begin the process of moving the American embassy from Tel Aviv to the Holy City. The United States has never endorsed Israel's claim of sovereignty over any part of Jerusalem and has insisted its status be resolved through Israeli-Palestinian negotiation. The Palestinian Prime Minister has said Donald Trump's expected recognition is bound to destroy the peace process and the two-state solution. Rami Hamdallah met with European diplomats on Wednesday and urged European countries to recognize a state of Palestine on the lands captured by Israel in 1967. He told the diplomats that the U.S. recognizing Jerusalem will fuel conflict and increase violence in the entire region. 5 days ago, an umbrella organization of Muslim countries has warned Donald Trump's possible recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital would constitute naked aggression against the Arab and Muslim world, while the ruling Palestinian Party has called for mass protests against such a move by Washington. The Organization for Islamic Cooperation issued a statement on Monday saying its 57 member states should sever ties with any state that transfers its embassy to Jerusalem or recognizes Israel's annexation of East Jerusalem. Israel captured East Jerusalem in the 1967 Mideast War, but the international community does not recognize its sovereignty over it. Palestinians claim it as the capital of their hoped-for state. 5 days ago, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, did not comment on the planned U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital during his first public remarks since the White House confirmed the new policy. 5 days ago, Turkey's foreign minister has said it would be a grave mistake for the U.S. to move its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. Mevlut Cavusoglu said, "It would be a grave mistake to move the U.S. embassy. It will not bring any stability, but rather chaos and instability. The whole world is against this," he said, adding he had already told the U.S. Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, how he felt and would reiterate during NATO's foreign ministers' meeting. 5 days ago, the Turkish government spokesman has said the United States' decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel will plunge the region and the world into a fire with no end in sight. Declaring Jerusalem a capital is disregarding history and the truths in the region. It is a big injustice/cruelty, short-sightedness, foolishness/madness. It is plunging the region and the world into a fire with no end in sight, Deputy Prime Minister Bekir Bozdag said on Twitter. "I call on everyone to act logically, respect the agreements they signed and behave reasonably, avoid risking world peace for domestic politics or other reasons," he said. 5 days ago, Pope Francis, speaking to Palestinians ahead of Mr. Trump's expected announcement, said recognizing the rights of all people in the Holy Land is a primary condition for dialogue. The Pope, who spoke to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas about the crisis on Tuesday, made his comments to a group of visiting Palestinians involved in interreligious dialogue with the Vatican. "The Holy Land is for us Christians the land par excellence of dialogue between God and mankind," he said. He spoke of dialogue between religions and also in civil society. The primary condition of that dialogue is reciprocal respect and a commitment to strengthening that respect, for the sake of recognizing the rights of all people, wherever they happen to be, he said. 5 days ago, the Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, has said Britain has no plans to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. 5 days ago, the U.S. intention to move its embassy to Jerusalem is a sign of its incompetence and failure, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said. That they claim they want to announce Quds as the capital of occupied Palestine is because of their incompetence and failure, he said on his personal website, using the Arabic name for Jerusalem. Manuel Hassashian, the Palestinian representative to Britain, has said it would be the kiss of death for the peace process if Donald Trump recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital in an expected speech later. 5 days ago, Manuel Hassashian, the Palestinian representative to Britain, said if Donald Trump recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital, it is a kiss of death to the peace process. He went on to say Mr. Trump is declaring war in the Middle East against Muslims and Christians who will not accept Jerusalem under Israeli control. 5 days ago, Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary, has said he was concerned about reports Donald Trump would recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. "Let's wait and see what the president says exactly. But, you know, "We view the reports that we have heard with concern, because we think that Jerusalem obviously should be part of the final settlement between the Israelis and the Palestinians," he told reporters in Brussels. 5 days ago last night,